It's time for our daily dose of cope, and we have Minnie Masha Catnip at the news anchor's desk for the Leopards News Network. There are so many stories to get to, so I'm going to jump right into it. We all love these how it started, how it's going posts. So this one's titled, "He might not survive this, but at least he can rest easy knowing that Argentinians are being helped over him. MAGA, making Argentina great again." So back in May, Donald Trump was talking about the One Big Beautiful Bill. He was so excited about it. And R, as in Robert, was saying, "You're the man, President Trump." Then in September 2024, before the election, he says, "Bidenomics must only be working for her bank account. Trump was president. I was able to save so much money. Now it rough. I wish a Democrat could make it make sense to me. When Trump was president, no wars. Remember all the BS everyone was saying if he's president? But what happened?" Let's fast forward to October. Here's Robert saying, "I don't know where to start, and I probably won't get a response." You're not going to get a response, Robert. "President Trump, I voted for you to help us American citizens be able to afford to live again. All I do is work. My wife works, and we still barely have enough money to survive. Help. Americans, please." But no, he's busy. He got to take care of those Argentinians. So we have another how it started, how it's going. So Bobby is commenting on this post from Annie. So Annie posts this: "Republicans, when are you going to stop supporting Trump and start supporting America?" Stephen King says that. But to that, Bobby says, "Did you forget America voted Trump in by a landslide? I think you're on the short side." Here's Bobby now. So Trump lover says, "Give me a thumbs up if you're a Trumper, not a bot." And to that, Bobby says, "I voted for Trump, Vance, but I'm a lot worse off now than I was at the first of the year. Everything has skyrocketed up and up and up. I'm retired but working 3 days a week to help pay the bills. With my health not good, I don't know how long I can last." And I do really believe that many Republican lawmakers just want their constituents to expire. The way they do not want to talk about health care, the way they ripped it away from people, I think they want people gone. I think the Republicans are the real death panels that they accuse the Obama administration of being. Now we have this excerpt of an article from ABC News. It says, "Chrissy Meehan, a hairstylist in Upper Chichester, Pennsylvania, has a neck condition that may require surgery. The 51-year-old voted for Republican Donald Trump for president last year." Let's look at this excerpt. All right, so Chrissy has a neck condition that may require surgery. She says if the ACA subsidies expire, she'll further delay the procedure. The 51-year-old voted for Republican Donald Trump for president last year, something she said she's almost embarrassed about now that the Republican-led government hasn't renewed the subsidies that help her afford her coverage through the state marketplace. "I work hard and I'm trying to survive and do it the right way and pay my way," Meehan said. "I don't want free, I just want affordable for my income." Health policy analysts note that even if the subsidies are extended, insurance rate hikes for 2026 are already higher because insurers had to factor in their potential expiration when they set premium prices earlier this year. That's going to be rough. There are also concerns the delay will cause chaos, confusion, and stress for Americans, some of whom have already started receiving notices that their premiums will skyrocket next year. Once those people say, "Oh wait, forget it, I'm out," it's going to be hard to get a lot of them back, said the Urban Institute's Levitas. I'm ready to start seeing more how it started, how it's going, because a lot of people are going to start posting and being upset on social media, and I will be there to collect the screenshots. Liberation Day back in April really helped to liberate many of us from our money. Yay, you gotta love these tariffs and everything costing so much money. Oh my goodness. All right, so this is an article from Raw Story. "Buying a new car has never been more expensive thanks to Trump." Many voters elected Donald Trump because he claimed he would cut inflation, but that does not apply to the automobile market, according to rating agencies. Prepare yourself because it's literally never been more expensive to buy a new car. Kelly Blue Book says that the average transaction price in September topped $50,000 for the first time ever. That's 4% more expensive than the same month last year. Egan described this as the biggest increase year over year since 2023, and for the average size U.S. vehicles, the price was even higher. That's just the average price, Egan said. Say you're in the market for a full-size car, you've got to be spending an average of almost $60,000. For a full-size pickup, it's $66,000, and SUVs averaging $76,000. Yay, tariffs. So what's behind these record high prices? Well, Kelley Blue Book says the one factor here is tariffs, Egan added. Tariffs are adding to the cost of building a car. It's not just the auto tariffs, it's the tariffs on car parts and the tariffs on steel, aluminum, and copper as well. But by far, the biggest factor influencing new car prices is who is buying the cars, according to Kelley Blue Book. Modest income buyers can no longer buy new cars since the November election. The $20,000 cars have basically gone extinct. Car makers are focusing on the higher margin, more expensive cars because a lot of the cost-conscious consumers are not able to buy cars right now. A lot of them are focusing on used cars. They've been priced out of the market, but more affluent buyers are in the market and they're buying more expensive cars, so that's pushing up the average. Egan said the numbers are another reminder of the K-shaped economy, where people who have money in the market, money in housing are doing okay and they're buying cars. But a lot of the lower income families are not buying cars right now because they're struggling to get by. So I went to Donald Trump's Live Social page. I like to do that periodically. And he's talking about how they're redrawing everything red because he's trying to rig the midterms. He says, thank you to North Carolina's incredible Republican legislators who just introduced a new, fair, and improved congressional map. All right, so everything is red. And I bet you the people of North Carolina are all going to go for red because, yay, let's vote in more Republicans. Someone in my comment section reminded me how screwed North Carolina was because of FEMA and Hurricane Helene. FEMA will stop matching 100% of Helene recovery money in North Carolina. Governor Stein, I am extremely disappointed and urge the president to reconsider FEMA's bad decision even for 90 days. That was back in April because Donald Trump was like, the states are going to have to come up with this money. And this was more recently in September. This was like 3 weeks ago. It says FEMA, our biggest obstacle as Helene recovery drags on, North Carolina disaster leaders tell lawmakers. So FEMA has fallen short. This administration has fallen short. But I bet you North Carolinians, they're still going to vote red because that's what they do. They are going to continue to vote to have their faces eaten. Now, this is where I'm going. This whole brouhaha with these young Republicans, even though many of them are in their 30s, who were basically showing how bigoted they are in their text messages. It says New York State young Republicans disbanded after racist group chat. State GOP leaders say suspending the group makes for a fresh start. New York State Republican Party leaders voted unanimously Friday to disband an organization promoting younger members following Politico's exclusive report on a young Republican group chat that was filled with racist and anti-Semitic rhetoric. The executive committee of the state party suspended the authorization of the younger arm to operate at a statewide level. Leaders have signaled the step makes way for a fresh start. The Young Republicans was already grossly mismanaged, and vile language of the sort made in the group chat has no place in our party or its subsidiary organizations, New York GOP Chair Ed Cox said in a statement. 5 members of the private Telegram chat featuring jokes about gas chambers, Adolf Hitler, and grape had close ties to the state GOP. Peter Juta is a former chair of the Young Republicans group, and Bobby Walker, at the time of the chat, was its vice chair. I'm skipping to the end of this article. It says Cox sent a formal notice to the National Federation of Young Republicans. In his statement, he also took a dig at Democrats. Unlike the Democrat Party that embraces anti-Semitic rhetoric and refuses to condemn leaders who call for political violence, Republicans deliver accountability by immediately removing those who use this sort of rhetoric from the positions they hold. This incident was immediately condemned by our most senior New York Republican elected leaders, but not J.D. Vance, not many other Republicans. Let me know what you're...